My chosen one, something has shifted, and I need you to feel the weight of this moment with your spirit, not just your ears. This is not an ordinary message, and this is not an ordinary day. On June 30th, a divine activation took place in the unseen realm, and it carries your name on it. Yes, you. Not by accident, not by coincidence, but by divine design. Archangel Michael is standing at the edge of this moment, announcing something so rare, so powerful, that many will hear it, but only a few will truly recognize that it was meant for them. And right now, your spirit is awakening because deep inside, you know, this is yours. Listen carefully, a portal hath been unlocked. Not a physical door that your eyes can see, but a spiritual gateway filled with favor, alignment, and blessings that have been held back until this exact time. This is not random good luck. This is divine favor being released with precision. And here is the truth that might shake you. This portal was not opened for everyone. It was opened specifically for you because of everything you have endured, everything you have survived, and everything you refused to give up on. There were moments you almost walk away. Moments when the silence felt too heavy, when the delays made no sense, when the pain seemed endless. But what you did not see was Archangel Michael standing guard over your journey, shielding you from battles you didn't even know were happening. What you thought were setbacks were actually divine protections. What felt like rejection was redirection. And now, everything is aligning in a way that cannot be reversed. This moment is urgent. Not because it will disappear instantly, but because hesitation could cause you to miss the fullness of what had been prepared. The portal is open, but stepping through it requires something from you. It requires your awareness, your belief, your willingness to move forward even if you don't fully understand what lies ahead. Because what lies ahead is not meant to be understood first. It is meant to be trusted. Right now, there is a quiet pull in your spirit, a feeling you can't ignore. That's not emotion, that's divine calling. You are being invited to walk into a season where doors open without force, where favor follows your steps, where things that once felt impossible begin to unfold naturally. But here is the question that will define everything. Will you step forward, or will you hesitate? Because hesitation is the only thing that can delay what is already yours. Archangel Michael is not just delivering a message, he is issuing an invitation. A sacred, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to cross into a higher level of alignment with your purpose. And as you stand at this spiritual threshold, you must understand this clearly. You are not here by chance. You were led here, invited here, positioned here. So take a deep breath and feel it. Something has opened, something powerful, and it is waiting for you. There is something you must understand before you take another step forward, something that will change how you see every moment that led you here. This doorway of divine favor did not appear suddenly, and it was not created overnight. Long before June 30th ever arrived, long before you even realized what was unfolding in your life, preparation had already begun. Every delay, every closed door, every tear you shed in silence was part of a divine orchestration that was shaping you for this exact moment. Think back to the times when nothing made sense, when you prayed and heard no answer, when you gave your best and still felt overlooked. Those were not wasted seasons. They were sacred seasons. While you felt forgotten, you were actually being refined. While you thought you were standing still, you were being positioned. Archangel Michael was not absent during those times. He was deeply present, working behind the veil, protecting your path and removing obstacles that could have destroyed what is now being released to you. There were battles you never saw, situations that could have gone wrong but didn't, people who could have harmed your journey but were quietly removed. That was not luck. That was divine intervention. That was Archangel Michael standing as your protector, ensuring that when this moment arrived, you would be ready, not just to receive the blessing, but to sustain it. You may have questioned your strength. You may have wondered why life felt heavier for you than for others. But now you are beginning to see the truth. Your journey required a deeper preparation because your reward carries greater weight. What is being opened to you now is not something temporary or shallow. It is something that will shift your direction, your mindset, and even the way others begin to see your life. Every hardship built something inside of you. Patience, discernment, spiritual awareness, strength you didn't know you had. You were being trained to recognize the difference between what looks good and what is truly meant for you. Because when divine favor arrives, it does not come quietly. It comes with opportunities, decisions, and moments that require clarity. And without preparation, many would miss it. But you were prepared. There is a reason you did give up, even when it would have been easier to walk away. There is a reason something inside you kept pushing you forward, even when your energy was low and your hope felt fragile. That was not your strength alone. That was divine guidance sustaining you. That was Archangel Michael strengthening your spirit, whispering courage into your soul when fear tried to take over. And now, everything is connecting. The confusion of your past is beginning to make sense. The waiting was not punishment. It was alignment. You were being held back from what was not ready, so you could step fully into what has now been perfectly prepared. This is why this moment is so important. Because it carries the weight of everything you've been through. It is not just about what is coming. It is about what you have already overcome to be here. And that is why this portal is not random. It is precise. It is intentional. It is personal. You are not stepping into something unfamiliar. You are stepping into something that has been forming around you your entire journey. Every lesson, every struggle, every moment of endurance has brought you closer to this exact doorway. And now that it is open, you are not unprepared. You are not unworthy. You are not too late. You are ready. And as this truth settles into your spirit, something deeper begins to awaken within you. A quiet confidence, a growing certainty that what lies ahead is not something to fear, but something to embrace. Because this was always part of your path. And now, it is finally time to walk it. Now listen closely, because what you are about to understand will change the way you see this moment forever. This portal that has been opened is not a metaphor meant to inspire you. It is a spiritual reality that carries power, movement, and divine authorization. When Archangel Michael speaks of a portal of good luck and divine favor, he is revealing a shift in access. A gateway has been unlocked where what was once delayed begins to flow, where what was once blocked begins to open, and where what felt distant suddenly becomes reachable. But do not misunderstand the nature of this favor. This is not luck as the world defines it. This is not random chance or coincidence. This is alignment with divine timing, where heavens will begin to move in harmony with your life. It is the kind of favor that places you in the right place at the right time, connects you with the right people, and opens doors that no human effort alone could unlock. It is precise, is intentional, and it carries the fingerprints of divine authority. Imagine standing before a doorway that responds not to force, but to faith. You cannot push your way through it with doubt. You cannot analyze your way into it with fear. This portal responds to something deeper, your willingness to trust what you cannot yet see. And that is why so many stand near it but never step through. Because the mind hesitates where the spirit is being called to move. There is something within you right now that feels both excitement and uncertainty. That is natural. Whenever divine favor is released, it stretches you beyond your comfort zone. It invites you to step out of the familiar and into the unknown. But understand this clearly: the unknown is not empty. It is filled with what hath been prepared for you. Archangel Michael is not only revealing the existence of this portal, he is standing as a guardian of it, ensuring that those who enter do so with the right spirit. This is why your heart posture matters. You are being called to walk through this gateway not with arrogance, not with entitlement, but with humility, gratitude, and a heart full of praise. Because praise aligns you with the source of the blessing. It keeps your spirit grounded while your life begins to elevate. But there is also a warning that must not be ignored. This moment requires movement. Delay is dangerous here. Not because the opportunity will vanish instantly, but because hesitation feeds doubt, and doubt clouds your ability to recognize what is being placed before you. How many times in the past did you second-guess something that was meant for you? How many times did fear convince you to wait, only to realize later that the moment had already passed? This time must be different. You are not being asked to have everything figured out. You are being asked to take a step of faith, a step of trust, a step that says, even if I don't see the full path, I believe in the one who opened the door. That is what activates the fullness of this portal. That is what transforms possibility into reality. And here is something even deeper. Once you step through, you will begin to notice shifts that cannot be explained logically. Doors will open without struggle. Conversations will align in your favor. Opportunities will find you in ways that feel almost unbelievable. That is the nature of divine favor. It does not operate by human limitations. It flows by spiritual authority. So right now, you stand at a sacred threshold, not by accident but by divine appointment. And the question is no longer whether the portal exists. The question is whether you will trust enough to enter it. If you feel this message stirring something inside you, do not ignore it. This is your confirmation. Type "I walk by faith" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 639 is now activated over your life. And as this moment settles into your spirit, hear this call as more than just words. It is an invitation to participate in something greater. When you choose to support this mission, you are not giving to a channel. You are sowing into the lives of souls who are searching for this exact message. The word declares, "Give, and it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over." This is not a distant promise. It is alive and speaking to you right now. As you feel the urge rising within you, say it boldly: "I am ready to be a vessel of light." Let your seed become a river that carries truth across nations. The PayPal link in the description and the QR code on the screen are not just options. They are gateways for you to act in alignment with this divine moment. Step into obedience, release your offering, and watch how heaven responds with abundance, clarity, and multiplied favor. There are moments in life when something shifts so quietly that you almost miss it, yet so powerfully that it begins to change everything. This is one of those moments. You are not just hearing this message, you are standing at the edge of something significant. And whether you realize it or not, there have already been signs appearing in your life, confirming that you are at the threshold of this divine portal. Think about what you have been experiencing lately. The repeated thoughts that won't leave your mind. The sudden clarity about situations that once confused you. The feeling that something is about to change, even if you cannot explain how or when. These are not random emotions. These are signals. spiritual indicators that you are being aligned with something greater than your current understanding. You may have also noticed patterns, strange coincidences that feel too precise to be accidental. Conversations that seem to answer questions you never voiced out loud. Messages that appear exactly when you need them most. This is how alignment begins to reveal itself. It does not always arrive with loud announcements. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it nudges. But for those who are paying attention, it becomes impossible to ignore. Another sign is the growing discomfort with where you currently are. Things that once felt normal no longer feel right. Environments, habits, even certain relationships may begin to feel heavy or out of place. This is not confusion. It is separation. You are being gently pulled away from what no longer matches the level you are being called to step into. And while this can feel unsettling, it is actually a powerful confirmation that movement is happening. There is also a shift happening within your spirit. A deeper awareness. A stronger sense of intuition. You are beginning to sense things before they happen. You are becoming more sensitive to energy, to truth, to what aligns and what does not. This is not accidental. This is preparation. Because as you approach this portal, clarity becomes essential. You are being trained to recognize what is meant for you so that you do not settle for less when greater is being offered. At the same time, you may feel moments of resistance, sudden doubt, unexpected fear, thoughts that question whether you are truly ready for what is ahead. Understand this clearly. This resistance is not a sign to stop. It is a sign that you are getting closer. Whenever something significant is about to happen, there will always be an opposing force trying to slow you down. Not because you are unworthy, but because what you are stepping into carries power. Archangel Michael is aware of this, and that is why his presence becomes stronger in moments like these. He is not only guiding you forward, but also strengthening your spirit so that you do not retreat when it matters most. When you feel uncertain, that is when you must lean deeper into trust. When fear tries to rise, that is when you remind yourself that you are protected, guided, and chosen for this moment. You might also notice an unusual sense of anticipation, as if something within you knows that change is near. It may come as excitement, or even as restlessness. This is your spirit responding to what has already been set in motion. The portal is not just something ahead of you. It is something you are already beginning to feel. All of these signs are aligning for one purpose: to wake you up to the reality of where you are standing right now. You are not lost. You are not behind. You are not imagining things. You are at a doorway that has been specifically opened for you, and your spirit is recognizing it before your mind fully understands it. So do not ignore what you are feeling. Do not dismiss the signs as coincidence. This is confirmation. This is alignment. This is preparation meeting opportunity. You are closer than you think, and everything within you is being called to recognize it. There is a reason this moment is tied to a specific day, and you must not overlook its significance. June 30th is not just another date on the calendar. It marks a spiritual turning point, a divine intersection where endings and beginnings meet under intentional alignment. This is the kind of timing that does not happen randomly. It is chosen, appointed, and released with precision. And when Archangel Michael reveals that something has been unlocked on this day, it means that a cycle has completed and a new one has officially begun. You have been walking through a season that required endurance, a season where things felt slow, unclear, and at times even stagnant. But what you were actually experiencing was a closing chapter. Old energies were being cleared. Old attachments were being loosened. Situations that no longer served your purpose were gradually coming to an end, even if it did not feel obvious at the time. June 30th represents the final seal on that process. It is the moment where what needed to end has ended, and what is meant to begin has now been given permission to enter your life. There is something powerful about divine timing. It does not rush, and it does not delay. It moves when everything is aligned. And that is exactly what has happened here. The struggles you faced, the lessons you learned, the growth you went through, all of it has brought you into alignment with this exact moment. This is why it feels different. This is why there is a sense of weight and importance attached to it. Because this is not just a continuation of your journey. This is a shift in direction. Archangel Michael stands at this point as both a witness and a guide. He is revealing that what hath been unlocked is not temporary. It is not a short-lived opportunity that fades away quickly. It is the beginning of a new phase where divine favor becomes more consistent, more visible, and more impactful in your life. But in order to fully receive it, you must recognize that you are no longer who you were before. You cannot carry old mindsets into a new season and expect to experience its fullness. This is where many people struggle. They reach a moment of breakthrough, but they still think from a place of limitation. They hesitate, question, and hold back because they are used to things not working out. But you are being called to shift that perspective. This date marks a release not only of new opportunities but also of a new way of thinking. A mindset that expects alignment. A mindset that trusts that what is meant for you will not pass you by. There is also a deeper spiritual rhythm connected to this timing. Endings and beginnings are not separate. They are connected. One makes space for the other. And what you may not have realized is that the things that left your life recently were not losses. They were preparations. Space was being created. Openings were being formed. So that when this portal of favor was unlocked, there would be room for it to fully enter your life. You may look back now and begin to see it more clearly. The relationships that shifted. The plans that changed. The doors that closed. At the time, it may have felt disappointing or confusing. But now, standing at this moment, you can begin to understand. They were necessary. Because what is coming requires space, clarity, and alignment. June 30th is your marker. The line between what was and what is now becoming. It is a reminder that you have crossed out of one season and into another. And whether you fully feel ready or not, the transition has already begun. This is why awareness matters so much. Because when you recognize the significance of where you are, you begin to move differently. You begin to make decisions with intention. You begin to trust the process instead of resisting it. And that is what allows you to fully step into what has been opened for you. So do not treat this moment as ordinary. Do not brush it aside as just another day. This is a divine appointment. A spiritual checkpoint where everything begins to shift in your favor. You have crossed into something new. And from this point forward, nothing will move the same way it used to. There comes a moment in every divine transition where one question rises above all others. Will you move forward in faith? Or will you remain where you are because of fear? Right now, that question is standing directly in front of you. The portal had been opened. The timing has been confirmed. The signs have been revealed. But none of it will fully activate in your life without one essential element: faith. Faith is not just a feeling. It is not something you wait to have before you act. Faith is a decision. It is the choice to move even when you cannot see the full path. It is the courage to step forward when your mind is still asking questions. And this is where many hesitate, because the human instinct is to seek certainty before taking action. But divine alignment does not work that way. It responds to trust, not to complete understanding. You may feel a part of you wanting reassurance, wanting proof, wanting everything to be perfectly clear before you take that step. But listen carefully. If everything were already visible, it would not require faith. And if it does not require faith, it cannot unlock the fullness of what had been prepared for you. Because this portal does not respond to logic alone. It responds to belief. It responds to your willingness to trust what has been spoken over your life. Archangel Michael understands this struggle, and that is why his presence is so important in this moment. He is not only announcing the opening of this gateway, he is strengthening you to walk through it. When fear begins to rise, when doubt tries to whisper that you are not ready, that you might fail, that you should wait a little longer, this is where his guidance becomes your anchor. He stands as a protector of your path, but also as a source of courage within you. Fear will always try to make the unknown look dangerous. It will remind you of past disappointments. It will try to convince you that stepping forward is risky. But what fear does not tell you is that staying where you are can be even more limiting. Because when divine favor is calling you forward, remaining still is not safety. It is delay. You were not brought this far to hesitate now. There is something within you that already knows this. A quiet voice that keeps reminding you that you are capable, that you are guided, that you are meant for more than what you have settled for in the past. That voice is not your imagination. It is your spirit responding to divine truth. And the more you listen to it, the stronger it becomes. Faith, in this moment, looks like movement. It may not be a giant leap. It may be a simple decision, a shift in your mindset, a willingness to say, I trust this path, even if I cannot see every step. That is enough to begin. Because once you take that step, you will begin to notice something powerful. The path starts to reveal itself as you walk. You do not need to carry the entire journey at once. You only need to take the step that is in front of you. And as you do, more clarity will come. More doors will open. More alignment will unfold. That is how divine favor works. It meets you in your movement, not in your hesitation. And let this truth settle deeply within you. Faith is not blind when it is guided. You are not stepping into the unknown alone. Archangel Michael walks with you. His protection surrounds you. His presence strengthens you. So even when you cannot see what is ahead, you are not unprotected. You are not unsupported. You are being led. So now the moment has arrived where you must decide, not with pressure but with awareness, not with fear but with trust. Will you allow doubt to slow you down? Or will you rise in faith and step into what has already been opened for you? Because the doorway is not waiting for perfection. It is waiting for your faith. There is something extraordinary waiting on the other side of this moment, something that goes far beyond what you have imagined in your quiet thoughts. You have sensed that change is coming, but what lies ahead is not just change, it is transformation. The kind of transformation that shifts not only your circumstances, but your entire way of living, thinking, and experiencing life. As you begin to step through this portal of divine favor, you will notice that things no longer feel forced. What once required struggle will begin to flow. What once felt blocked will begin to open. This is one of the first signs that you have crossed into alignment. Life starts to move with you instead of against you. And while it may feel unfamiliar at first, it is actually a return to how things were always meant to be. There are opportunities waiting for you, ones that match your growth, your strength, and your purpose. These are not distractions or temporary moments. These are aligned openings, designed to elevate you into a higher level of your journey. You may find yourself in places you never expected, having conversations that lead to unexpected breakthroughs, receiving chances that once felt out of reach. This is not coincidence. This is the evidence of divine favor at work. But it is not only external changes that will take place. There will be a shift within you that is just as powerful. A deeper sense of peace will begin to settle in your spirit. The anxiety that once followed you will start to lose its hold. You will begin to trust yourself more, not because you suddenly have all the answers, but because you feel guided. There is a difference between guessing and knowing, and you will begin to experience that quiet knowing more often. Relationships will also begin to shift. Some will grow stronger, becoming more supportive, more aligned with who you are becoming. Others may naturally fall away, not out of conflict, but because they no longer resonate with your path. And while that may feel emotional at times, it is part of the process. You are being surrounded by what matches your new level, your new direction, your new energy. There is also a clarity that comes with stepping into divine favor. Decisions that once felt overwhelming will begin to feel simpler. You will start to see things for what they truly are, without confusion or doubt clouding your vision. This clarity is not something you force. It is something that flows when you are aligned. It allows you to move with confidence, to act without constant second-guessing, to trust the direction you are being led in. And then there is the blessing of peace. Not the kind of peace that depends on everything being perfect, but the kind that remains steady even when things are still unfolding. This peace comes from knowing that you are where you are meant to be. It is a quiet assurance that you are no longer fighting against your path, but walking in harmony with it. You may also begin to notice an increase in favor in ways that feel almost unexplainable. Doors opening at the right time. Help arriving when you need it. Situations resolving in your favor without struggle. These are not random events. These are signs that you are walking within the flow of something greater than yourself. But here is something important to remember. This transformation does not remove effort from your life. It removes resistance. You will still take action, you will still make decisions, you will still move forward. But the difference is that your efforts will now be supported, guided, and aligned. Instead of pushing against obstacles, you will begin to move with opportunities. This is what awaits you. Not a perfect life, but a purposeful one. Not a life without challenges, but a life where challenges no longer define your direction. A life where you feel connected, supported, and guided every step of the way. So as you stand at this point, understand what is truly in front of you. This is not just a doorway. It is an invitation into a new way of living. A life that reflects everything you have been prepared for. And the moment you step fully into it, you will begin to see just how much was waiting for you all along. There is something you must confront honestly in this moment, something that has quietly followed you through many seasons of your life. It is not an external force, not a visible barrier, but something far more subtle and far more powerful if left unchecked. It is doubt. It is hesitation. It is the quiet voice that tells you to wait when you are being called to move. And right now, as this portal of divine favor stands open before you, this inner resistance becomes the greatest obstacle you must overcome. Understand this clearly. Nothing outside of you has the authority to block what hath been divinely assigned to you. But what can delay it is your response. The way you think, the way you react, the way you either step forward or hold back when the moment calls for action. This is where many miss their alignment. Not because the opportunity wasn't real, but because they allowed doubt to speak louder than truth. Doubt does not always appear as fear. Sometimes it disguises itself as logic, It tells you to be careful, to wait for a better time, to gather more information before making a move. And while wisdom is important, there is a difference between discernment and delay. Discernment brings clarity. Delay creates distance. And right now, you cannot afford to create distance between you and what has already been opened for you. You may feel thoughts rising within you that question everything. What if I'm wrong? What if I'm not ready? What if this doesn't work out? These thoughts may seem harmless, but they carry weight. Because the longer you entertain them, the more they begin to shape your actions. And hesitation, even in small moments, can slow down what is meant to flow freely. But here is the truth that must break through that noise. This opportunity did not come from your imagination. It did not come from wishful thinking. It came from divine alignment. And when something is divinely aligned, it does not require your perfection. It requires your participation. Archangel Michael is not unaware of this internal battle. In fact, this is exactly where his presence becomes most powerful. He does not just stand at the portal. He stands beside you, strengthening your spirit against the voices that try to pull you backward. When doubt rises, his guidance reminds you of your truth. When fear tries to slow you down, his protection gives you the courage to keep moving. There is also another form of resistance you must recognize: overthinking. The need to understand every detail before taking action. The desire to map out every possible outcome before stepping forward. But what you must realize is this: overthinking is often fear trying to feel in control. And control is not what this moment requires. Trust is. You are not being asked to calculate every step. You are being asked to take the next one. Because once you move, clarity will follow. Direction will become clearer. Opportunities will begin to reveal themselves in ways that cannot be predicted in advance. That is the nature of divine favor. It unfolds as you walk, not before. There is also the danger of waiting for the perfect moment. But the truth is, the perfect moment is the one you are standing in right now. Waiting for conditions to feel completely right can lead to mistiming. And this is why awareness matters so deeply. Because when you recognize that this moment is aligned, you stop searching for confirmation and start moving with confidence. You have already come too far to turn back now. You have already been prepared, guided, and positioned for this exact point. To hesitate now would only prolong what is already meant to begin. So take a moment and center yourself. Let the noise settle. Let the doubt lose its voice. And remind yourself of what you know deep within. You are ready. Not because everything is perfect, but because everything is aligned. Type "I release all doubt" in the comments if you are stepping into this truth right now. Blessing code 8821 is now activated over your path. And as you release that doubt, understand this sacred truth. Your obedience in this moment can become a doorway for others to find light. When you sow into this mission, you are not giving from lack. You are releasing seeds into fertile spiritual ground where lives are transformed. The word declares, "Those who sow in tears shall reap in joy." And today, that promise is speaking directly to you. Say it with conviction. I am planting into divine purpose. The PayPal link in the description and the QR code on your screen are more than simple tools. They are your point of action, your moment of agreement with what heaven is doing. Do not delay what your spirit is urging you to do. Release your seed now and step into a flow where provision, favor, and increase begin to follow you without resistance. Now that you have recognized the doorway, released the weight of doubt, and understood the urgency of this moment, the question becomes clear: how do you actually step into this portal of divine favor? What does it look like? Not just in thought or emotion, but in real, intentional action. Because this moment is not only spiritual in awareness, it is practical in movement. You are being called not just to believe, but to align your life with what has been opened before you. The first step begins within you. Before anything changes around you, something must settle inside you. A decision. A clear, unwavering choice that you are ready to move forward. Not halfway, not conditionally, but fully. This decision does not require loud declarations or dramatic actions. It begins quietly, in your spirit, where you say to yourself, I accept what has been prepared for me. That moment of acceptance is powerful because it shifts you from waiting into receiving. From there, your thoughts must begin to align with this new reality. You cannot step into divine favor while holding on to a mindset rooted in limitation. If you constantly expect things to go wrong, if you assume that opportunities will pass you by, then you create resistance within yourself. But when you begin to think differently, when you expect alignment, when you believe that what is meant for you will find you, you begin to move in harmony with what is already unfolding. This is where awareness becomes your strength. Pay attention to what enters your mind. Notice when doubt tries to return. And instead of allowing it to take hold, gently replace it with truth. Remind yourself that you are guided, that you are protected, that this moment was divinely orchestrated. This is not about ignoring reality. It is about choosing the perspective that keeps you aligned with your path. Your words also carry power in this process. What you speak reinforces what you believe. If your words are filled with hesitation, fear, or uncertainty, they will reflect that energy back into your experience. But when you begin to speak with confidence, even if you are still growing into it, you activate something deeper within you. Speak as someone who knows they are stepping into something meaningful. Speak as someone who trusts the journey ahead. Then comes your actions. This is where everything begins to take form. You do not need to make extreme or overwhelming changes all at once. In fact, the most powerful movements are often simple and intentional. Take the step that feels aligned, even if it seems small. Respond to the opportunity that appears. Follow through on the idea that keeps returning to you. These are not random impulses. They are part of the guidance you are receiving. There will also be moments where you are called to let go. Let go of habits, environments, or even connections that no longer support where you are going. This is not about loss. It is about alignment. You are making space for what matches the level you are stepping into. And while letting go can feel uncomfortable, it is often the very thing that allows new doors to open fully. Gratitude plays a powerful role in this process as well. Not just gratitude for what you already have, but gratitude for what is coming. When you begin to feel thankful in advance, you shift your energy into expectation. You move from hoping something will happen to knowing that it is already unfolding. This creates a sense of peace and confidence that strengthens your steps forward. And through it all, remember that you are not doing this alone. Archangel Michael remains present, guiding your awareness, strengthening your decisions, and protecting your path. When you feel uncertain, pause and reconnect with that presence. You do not need to have every answer. You only need to stay connected to the guidance that is leading you. This is how you step into the portal. Not with perfection, but with alignment. Not with pressure, but with intention. One thought, one word, one action at a time. And as you begin to move in this way, you will notice something powerful. The path begins to meet you. What once felt distant starts to come closer. What once felt uncertain begins to feel clear. and what once felt impossible starts to feel real, because you are no longer standing at the doorway. You are walking through it. As you continue walking through this sacred transition, there is one powerful key that will determine how fully you experience what has been opened for you. It is not something complicated. It is not something reserved for a select few. It is something simple, yet deeply transformative: praise. A heart full of praise is not just a response to blessings. It is a force that sustains and multiplies them as you move forward. You may think praise comes after everything falls into place, after the doors open, after the results become visible. But divine alignment works differently. Praise comes before, during, and after. It is not dependent on what you see. It is rooted in what you trust. And in this moment, as you walk through this portal of favor, praise becomes your anchor. It keeps your spirit steady while everything around you begins to shift. There is something powerful that happens when you choose gratitude and praise in the middle of transition. Instead of focusing on what is uncertain, you begin to focus on what is possible. Instead of dwelling on what has not yet happened, you begin to appreciate what is already unfolding. This shift may seem small, but it changes your entire experience. It keeps you connected to the source of your blessing, rather than becoming distracted by temporary emotions or passing doubts. You will notice that as you maintain this posture of praise, your perspective begins to elevate. Situations that once would have caused stress or confusion begin to feel lighter. You respond differently. You carry a quiet confidence that does not depend on external validation. This is because praise keeps your spirit aligned with truth. It reminds you that you are not walking alone, and that everything happening is part of a greater plan. There may still be moments where things do not unfold instantly, moments where patience is required, but praise fills those spaces with peace instead of frustration. It allows you to remain steady, knowing that delay does not mean denial. It keeps your energy focused, your heart open, and your mind clear. Another powerful aspect of praise is that it protects you from negativity. As you step into new levels of favor, there may be voices, both internal and external, that question your progress. Doubt may try to return in subtle ways. But when your heart is rooted in gratitude, those voices lose their influence. You become less reactive, less shaken, more grounded in what you know to be true. Praise also amplifies what is already working in your life. When you acknowledge even the smallest signs of alignment, you create space for more to appear. When you celebrate progress, no matter how small, you strengthen your connection to the path you are on. This is not about ignoring challenges. It is about choosing to give your attention to what is growing, what is opening, what is moving forward. As you continue this journey, make praise a natural part of your daily rhythm. It does not have to be loud or public. It can be quiet, personal, sincere. A simple moment where you pause and acknowledge that something is shifting in your favor. A moment where you say, "Thank you for what I cannot yet see, but I know is coming." These moments build something powerful within you. They create stability, trust, and a deeper sense of connection. Archangel Michael recognizes this posture. When your heart is filled with praise, you become more receptive to guidance. You hear more clearly. You sense direction more easily. Because you are not clouded by fear or frustration, you are aligned with trust. And this alignment is what keeps the flow of divine favor active in your life. It is what allows you to move forward without constantly questioning every step. It is what gives you the strength to continue, even when the full picture has not yet revealed itself. So as you walk through this portal, do not carry anxiety with you. Do not carry doubt or hesitation. Carry praise. Carry gratitude. Carry the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you are exactly where you are meant to be. Because when you walk with praise, you do not just enter the blessing. You begin to live within it. As you continue forward, stepping deeper into this new alignment, there is one truth that must anchor your spirit above all else. You are not walking this path alone. Every step you take through this portal of divine favor is covered, guided, and protected. And at the center of that protection stands Archangel Michael, not at a distance, but actively present in your journey. There is a reason his name has been spoken throughout this message. He is not just a messenger, he is a guardian, a protector assigned to ensure that what has been divinely opened for you is not easily disrupted by fear, confusion, or unseen opposition. His role is not passive. It is active, intentional, and constant. And when you begin to truly understand this, something inside you shifts. You stop walking in uncertainty and begin walking with confidence. You may not always see his presence, but you will feel it. It shows up in the moments when something that should have gone wrong suddenly works out. It shows up when you feel an unexpected sense of calm in situations that would have once overwhelmed you. It shows up when you are guided away from something that later reveals itself to have been misaligned. This is how protection often works. It is quiet, but powerful. There will be moments ahead where you are stepping into unfamiliar territory. New opportunities, new environments, new levels of responsibility. And with newness often comes a sense of vulnerability. You may wonder if you are capable of handling what is being placed before you. But this is where you must remember, if you were not ready, the door would not have opened. Archangel Michael does not guide you into situations that you are unequipped for. Instead, he walks with you into them, strengthening your spirit as you grow into each new level. What may feel unfamiliar at first will begin to feel natural over time. What may seem overwhelming in the beginning will become manageable as your confidence builds. This is the process of expansion, and it is supported every step of the way. Protection also means that not everything will be allowed to follow you into this new season. There are things, people, and energies that may have been part of your past but cannot move forward with you. This is not something to resist, it is something to trust. Because what is being removed is making space for what is aligned, and what remains will be stronger, clearer, and more supportive of your path. There may also be moments where you are redirected. Plans may shift. Paths may change. But these adjustments are not setbacks. They are corrections. They are part of the guidance that keeps you moving in the right direction. When you trust this, you stop fearing change and begin to see it as a form of protection. It is important that you stay connected to this awareness. Not just when things are going well, but especially when things feel uncertain. Because protection is not always about preventing challenges. It is about guiding you through them in a way that strengthens you rather than breaks you. And when you walk with that understanding, you move differently. You carry less fear. You hesitate less. You trust more. There is also a deeper level of peace that comes from knowing you are covered. It allows you to release the need to control every outcome. It frees you from constantly worrying about what could go wrong. Because you understand that even if something unexpected happens, you are not facing it alone. You are supported. You are guided. You are protected. Archangel Michael's presence is not limited by time or space. He is consistent. He is steady. And it remains with you as long as you continue to walk in alignment with what have been revealed to you. This is not something you earn. It is something you accept. It is part of the divine order that has been placed over your life. So as you continue forward, let this truth settle deeply within you. You do not need to be afraid of what is ahead. You do not need to second-guess every step. You do not need to carry the weight of uncertainty on your own. Because you are covered. You are guided. You are protected. And as long as you keep moving forward with faith, nothing that is meant for you will be lost, and nothing that is not meant for you will be able to stand in your way. This is the assurance that walks with you now, and it will not leave you. Beloved soul, now you have arrived at the moment that everything has been leading toward. Not a moment of pressure, not a moment of confusion, but a moment of quiet certainty. The doorway that was revealed, the preparation you walked through, the faith you chose over fear, all of it has brought you here. And now, there is no need to rush, no need to strive. This is the moment where you simply step fully into what has already been opened for you. Feel the calmness settling into your spirit. This is not the same uncertainty you once carried. This is different. This is peace rooted in knowing. You are no longer questioning whether this path is meant for you. You are recognizing that it always was. Every delay, every lesson, every closed door has led you into this new beginning with clarity and strength. As you cross fully into this new chapter, something beautiful begins to unfold within you. You stop looking back with regret, and instead you look forward with expectation. You begin to understand that nothing was wasted, not a single moment. Even the hardest seasons had purpose. They shaped you into someone who could not only receive this level of favor, but walk in it with wisdom and grace. This is your new space now, a place where things begin to align more naturally, where your steps feel guided rather than forced. You will still grow, you will still learn, but you will no longer feel lost in the process. There is direction here. There is clarity here. There is a quiet assurance that you are moving exactly where you are meant to go. Allow yourself to breathe in this moment. Release the need to control what comes next. You do not need to rush ahead. What is meant for you immediately you continue to walk forward. Trust has brought you this far, and trust will carry you the rest of the way. Archangel Michael remains with you, not as a distant presence, but as a constant guide. His protection surrounds your steps. His strength supports your spirit, and His presence ensures that you are never alone in what lies ahead. This is not a temporary moment of guidance. It is an ongoing connection that continues as long as you remain open and aligned. There will be new experiences, new opportunities, and new levels of growth. But you will face them differently now, with more confidence, with more awareness, with a deeper sense of peace, because you know that you are not walking into the unknown, you are walking into what has already been prepared for you. So let go of any remaining hesitation. Let go of the old weight that no longer belongs in this new chapter. You have already crossed the threshold. You have already stepped into the flow of divine favor. Now, all that remains is to continue forward with a heart that is open, grateful, and at peace. This is your beginning. Not a small one, but a powerful one. And from this point on, you will begin to see just how much was waiting for you on the other side of your faith. Type "I receive my NEW beginning" in the comments if you are stepping fully into this new chapter. Blessing code 1010 is now released over your life. And as you stand in this new beginning, understand this sacred truth. Your step into the light can become a doorway for countless others who are still searching in the dark. When you respond to this moment by giving, you are not losing anything. You are multiplying impact across lives you may never see, but heaven fully records. The word is alive and speaking over you now. Whoever sows generously will also reap generously, and this is your moment to act on that living promise. Say it boldly within your spirit: I am a carrier of divine increase. The PayPal link in the description, and the QR code on your screen are placed before you as a direct path of obedience. Do not delay this stirring in your heart. Release your seed now and step into a flow where blessings return to you pressed down, multiplied, and overflowing beyond what you imagined.